Welcome to Moral Calibration. Today, we're going to be talking about the definition of this word known as narcissist. We're going to examine what a narcissist is and why perhaps that word is commonly thrown around. And when it is thrown around, is it really sticking? Or could it be an ulterior motive behind throwing those darts around? Let's inspect the word, shall we? So first of all, we're going to go to Merriam-Webster dictionary and read the definition. Narcissist, an extremely self-centered person who has an exaggerated sense of self-importance. Let's continue to read the other definitions, shall we? B. A person who is overly concerned with his or her physical appearance. Let's take it a step further. Let's look at narcissists when it pertains to relationships. Most cases I hear the term used, it's used in regards to relationships. One party or the other throwing that word at each other. Otherwise, you hear it in the political arena all the time. So let's inspect what it means when more specifically talking about relationships. Okay, so also a person affected with narcissistic personality disorder. Let's read and see what that means. Narcissistic personality disorder. A personality disorder characterized especially by an exaggerated sense of self, importance, persistent need for admiration, lack of empathy for others, excessive pride in achievements, and snobbish, disdainful, or patronizing attitudes. Okay, well, there you have it. That is a personality disorder. Let's see what other definitions we can find related to this word, narcissistic. Okay, so part of having narcissistic personality disorder is basically like saying narcissists have impaired relationships because they're unable to enter anyone else's world. Alright, so as you can see there, my beautiful people, narcissistic, narcissism. These things basically mean you're self-centered, egotistical, want your way or the highway. Your way is the best way and only way, right? An extreme sense of selfishness is the essence of narcissism. If you know anyone that was ever labeled a narcissist, I'd like you to re-examine the definition and look at the person again and make a clear and sound assessment as to do they really and truly fit any of these characteristics. I know a lot of situations I've come across in life, different relationships, friends, and situations I've seen throughout the times where I have seen those words thrown around. And I've never been able to quite understand fully why certain genders tend to use that word against the other gender. And obviously, if a person is truly selfish and self-centered, they shouldn't be surprised to be called a narcissist because they've probably already been called conceited, selfish, egotistical, self-centered. They probably have been called any one of these names throughout their entire lives. So if you have never been called any of these names your entire life, exaggerated sense of self, snobbish, self-centered, lack of empathy for others, persistent need for admiration, so if you've truly feel that you've been a victim of being called a narcissist and you don't fit any of those characteristics, it's a good idea to take a deep breath, share the definition with people, and walk tall. Because what I find, like I said, when I go back to certain examples I have of friends' relationships, other people's relationships I've seen, and throughout the test of time when it comes to experience with relationships, I have to say that in most cases I've seen the word narcissist thrown around. There was always an ulterior motive there with it. It wasn't only specifically to make a person understand that they're self-centered and only want things their way. Again, obviously, if a person is truly an egomaniac and only wants things done their way, time will tell that person, time will show that person the errors of their ways. Because anybody in this world that feels that their way is the only way, they're going to find out inevitably if their moral fortitude is intact. Meaning, if your moral calibration is intact, then you could never be selfish. You could never fit any of those characteristics. Because when your moral fortitude is intact, you are naturally selfless. You naturally care about others. You are naturally the actual opposite of the definitions of narcissistic. So again, welcome to Moral Calibration. Tune in. Don't tune out. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for absorbing. If you want to hear more moral calibration messages, be sure to hit the like. Smash it. It's free. What you waiting for? Subscribe too. Hit the bell. Bing, bing.